since April.
This is Chicago.
Even after Governor Greg Abbott signed the newly drawn political boundaries into law, the fight between
Strange
Democrats
news,
and
look.
Republicans is
Her fat Billy is on top of the desk. That's right. That's Fat Billy just sitting on the desk. He can sit in his desk, right? They are a little close, though.
How the new districts may affect campaigning.
What happened? They're gone.
From the Texas Capitol to the courthouse.
I report. What the hell? You see his head hammer?
The newly drawn political chambers of the state legislature.
That's a Mario Brothers hammer.
Ryan Smith, a political science professor at St. Edward's University, says any changes ordered by the courts could lead to
The hammer of justice. That's Texas Justice hammer. The camera begins to take lapses on its own, where the video just stops, there's a stop, and then it resumes. This has never before been experienced. Term gavel. Be advised. I understand that it may qualify as a gavel, but I will not allow it to be. Hey, that's that asshole.
At issue is the increase in white majority districts and decrease in Hispanic and Black.
All that
majority
privilege.
being the driving force behind it being the only state to gain 2 new
So-
congressional seats. More than 9.
This is the news. This is what they do, and then they're gonna have the kids on, where the kids died, and that whole thing is fishy. That's the one that my good friend had
Who's the president of the conservative political firm Steinhauser Strategy.
triggered me, because I guess she heard it, and she knew enough about I had 3 kids. She heard Houston. I'm from Houston. She heard ages around the time, and she was trying to do me a solid by letting me know that something like that could be my family. Which, when somebody does that, it freaks you the fuck out. And I was freaked the fuck out. I was triggered, double triggered, because I saw the text and I saw like skeleton found. I thought it was like skeleton in the woods. And usually if I'm not talking to somebody we've been talking all day, I don't respond to that shit. But you send links. I do. But I vet myself. I don't gang stalk people. I can't say the same for my other friend. She's a multiple gang stalker. She did it here. See, there was a night. This is how the Matrix works. The friend that I had over here staying, that it's ultimately I'm her friend, and I'm resisting the urge to even call and check on her, because she'll just pull my friendship back into service, and I know that. So it wasn't the fact that she wasn't doing anything. It was the fact she wasn't listening to me, and she was making the environment toxic for me by the way that the energy she was holding while she was here. So she done this before, though. And then I was like, you gotta go. Because it was the same thing happening then, except I was a little bit sick. And I was starting to get sicker, because if I didn't have that extra energy that I was losing, and I'm not saying she's vampired it, don't get it twisted. That's not what I'm saying at all. She's actually by the human design thing, she's a generator too. So she pumps out her energy. Now her energy made this environment heavy. And I was having to cut my way through my own environment. Imagine being in Dig Dug. And you're going to have to like dig, dung, 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 cut out a tunnel in the air as you go through. It was starting to condense like that. That's the way I feel it. And that's using my intuition, my empathy, and other shit. I wasn't trying to be an asshole. And, it was the things that she was already anchored into to be her heavy metal shielding. It was going to be, male and female relationship and some shit. And she proved that. She proved it, because she went all the way back to when we were together fucking 7 years ago, and then had a whole different account of things that I left her. And I didn't even break up with her. I just left and I went to my mom. I was trying to help her move and do other shit, which she was going to have to do anyway. It wasn't my fault. They were already going to send her out of her place. All I did was move back to Houston, I didn't have a vehicle. I was having to ride a fucking bicycle to go to the employment agency, try to work on some boats, try to work on something else. And, I was glad to be able to spend that time with her. I had a great time. But she's a night person and I'm a day person. And even if I could live in both worlds, I don't think it would be healthy for me because I would have to work during the day. I don't have to. I'm a sheet metal worker. That's what I've previously done. I have 20 years doing. Going to hire me because I had left them. And although I loved it, I had the experience at the river, and it told me that I needed to go back home to Houston because I would probably end up dead, doing serious drugs and harm to myself, being languishing and sad, about, like my ex moved her dad in that killed her mom and had him leave his wife behind. They took my child support money and just got themselves an apartment. So that's what she did. And now she's doing it again because she's just taking my child support money and blah, blah, blah. And it's wrong because I won't go to court, and I'm not going to go to the court and try to get them to enforce visits and do all that shit. I'm not fucking with those people at the courts ever again for anything. I don't want their fucking help. Like, let me tell you something. They don't help. The CPS people, they don't help. You call CPS on somebody, you done a real great evil. Because those people, if there is an actual problem to warrant it, basically you just threw them under the bus and their kids under the bus. Because anything to deal with that people is horrible for the child. And then it's most likely it's something crooked. Period. So they have this story on there, I would tell my friend now, okay, well, you looked out and you saw something that maybe was relevant to me on the low end of the scale. Now find me something on the high end of the scale and I will for you. How about that? Good and worthwhile for your life, a ray of sunshine. I'll bring that and drop it at your feet. And then if you can do the same for me, how about that? I'll do that for you and you can do that for me. And part of me, when I watched the story, because there was no information on the parents, now I knew why they didn't give the story of the kids' names, but the mom and the girlfriend that they remained unnamed, I found very suspect. It sounded like a psyop, or who knows. You'd had to read the actual story. You get that feeling from the way that they write the stories. This is because it's like a hero piece on the investigators who had never witnessed such a horrible thing before. When they use language like that, I'm very suspect of it. But that's all I wanted to say. It was me trying to catch Chicago looking like she's in the Matrix. Chicago Windler was dressed like Trinity from the Matrix. And I said, it's got to be tough on her. She's an old gal. She's like the grandma to all the fucking hot weather girls, which are many. And they're all young. They're all hot. They all fucking upstarts. But she's dressing like she's that fucking rave going old lady. I rock you, fucking Chicago Windler. Don't get it twisted. I rock that ass. Anyway, that's a joke. I'm just trying to be silly. I don't think it's appropriate. She's a married woman. That's somebody's grandmother.